What's up, everybody? This is the Anime Squad podcast. My name is Robbie.
And this is Omar. I'm back.
And this is David.
And today we're going to be bringing you week 9 of our spring anime season. Of course, sans, my next life as a villainess, because for that episode, for that anime, we're going to be tackling episode 6. And it's a filler episode.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. It's not too bad, though. It's a life summer vacation for our main character, Katarina. It's basically telling the story of multiple stories, actually. Multiple different scenes. It's kind of like what her and the rest of the cast is doing.
Yeah, there's just, basically what they were doing in summer vacation, which I didn't even know they were in summer vacation.
Yeah.
But it's just a little fun.
Setup.
It was basically a fun episode, like see what they do and stuff within the summer. But there was some key moments in this episode, I think.
Yeah.
Like we get to see freaking what's it called?
Keith?
Yes, Keith.
Yeah.
With this very
boy.
very bold sister complex.
No, because he has a sister complex since since Katarina from before was being really nice to her, nice to him. But man, this episode just cranks that notch to 11.
Yeah, and then Giorno was at his breaking point. You could just tell by him.
At this point, I'm ready for them to kill each other.
Yeah, I'm really expecting that too. At this point, if he sees Keith again, he's like, ah. When I beat Catherine, I gotta bring you apparently. But yeah, that's what happened, and then the whole lake scene.
Yeah, it's okay. So it's basically we're thinking a fan service scene, a fan service moment, because every anime gotta have a beach episode.
Yeah, beach episode.
This one's it's a lake episode.
It's because they're rich, man.
They're rich. They don't need beaches, or they probably don't have beaches. Yeah, they got lakes though.
They got lakes and boats.
And they could just row your boat, and they have a rowing contest and everything.
Well, it was supposed to be a love getaway for Jordo and Katarina, but then Katarina being a nice person she's trying to be, she brings everybody along, and then ends up being a competition. Who rows fastest.
Yeah, and then Katarina just blows everybody away. Alan in particular, because Alan's the one that's let's competition time, let's go, let's do this.
But yeah, that's what happened, and then later on, Katarina and I'm blanking on her name. Sophia and her brother, they go to that town, right?
No.
Ah, damn. I'm way too ahead.
No, you're going ahead. Again, we're No, yeah, you're going a little bit ahead there. You threw me off there. So all throughout the episode, again, it's kind of difficult to explain this episode, because this episode, like I said before, is split into different scenes. So one scene has Katarina, formed this party. Another scene, Katarina is also behind on her homework that she has to do, and then also, but split in between all of this, she also has she's also looking back on all the different doom scenarios that are going on in her head, which at this point in the story it doesn't really amount to much, because every time she thinks of these counterbalances and stuff, she's just oh my gosh, I can't I can't do this, otherwise, I'm gonna lead to this doom scenario, so I gotta plow the fields and all that stuff. And then her mom, she gets annoyed by the plowing and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they even her mom, he's oh, Katarina's changing.
Yeah.
Everyone's more open up, and they talk about their feelings and stuff.
Yeah.
And then she's trying to get to that point, but then she's Katarina's just yo. She keeps planning, screaming. She's and then she goes down there. It's shut up already.
Yeah, and I think interestingly that same episode though, we got some glimpses of her past, because that was something that we've gotten alluded to before, especially with that first episode when she first got that bump in her head, that she has a past life and everything. But so this episode slowly uncovers that, but more or less it's just filler.
Yeah.
It's just filler in regards to kind of like what goes on and everything. You know, there's some funny moments here and there, and we do get to like, you know, we do get scenes of regarding Keith and Alan and all of them. But for the most part, it's just. Actually, you know what? No.
Yeah, that's when they go to that
You're
town.
right.
Yeah.
You're right. No.
That's what I'm telling you.
Okay, yeah, it's my fault there.
Yeah.
I was remembering it wrong. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, because it's literally like in the middle, like in the middle episode, like you said.
Yeah.
Like, they go into town and they're like, you know, shopping like normally, and then the town people are like staring at them like, wow.
Yeah, and then they talk about Nicole and Sophia. You know, you're right. That's my fault. That's what I'm saying. This episode is too segmented. Like they don't have that much cohesion to each other.
Yeah, like yeah, you're right. Like nothing happens.
Yeah.
But then there's that one little segment of it. Like we get to see, you know, how Nicole. Oh no, not Nicole. Nicole feels about Katarina.
Yeah.
And that's what I remember from that.
You're right. No, and in regards to that is like pretty much one of the more significant parts of this episode, because that kind of gives more in-depth, you know, and sort of analysis as to kind of like what Nicole is like, because throughout the first 5 episodes or so, we didn't really get much with Nicole at all.
He's still being like mysterious in his own way. So.
But yeah, that's all pretty much we have to say about episode 6. Honestly, there's not really much that goes on in this episode in particular.
Short
because
and
it's
sweet.
it's all mostly filler, and nice filler too. It's not like it's not. I don't know. It doesn't really waste your time.
Depends
really.
how you take.
Depends,
filler.
yeah. Depends on what your stance is on filler is, because there's some filler that like. No matter what anybody says, it's like, ah, man.
Well,
just skip it.
This anime won't be like, shonen filler where it takes like, months.
No, thankfully. Oh my goodness.
So far, this episode is just the summer little part, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a summer like break kind of thing where it's like not much happens. Again, Katarina uses most of the episode to just kind of like have fun and make memories, and towards the end, that's when she's like all procrastinating and everything on her summer homework. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, it was just pretty harmless. It's pretty good. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just upset because it just segments it too much. I just kind of get it confused, because the next episode that we're going to be talking about, episode 7 of My Next Life, is...
A lot happened in that one.
Yes, this one was a major episode. And this episode in particular, we have a whole event that is pretty much... Well, again, getting a little bit ahead of myself, but it first starts off where we actually get more flashbacks to Katarina and her friend Atsuko, whose nickname is Achan, who was talked about previously, the best friend with the strategy guide, pretty much.
Yeah, like she always comes up here and there whenever she remembers like a strategy in the game.
Yeah.
So we get to finally see, what's her stance with her and Katarina in that life.
And despite the fact that us not seeing like kind of what happened, like with how Katarina originally died, we do get the funeral scene and what Achan kind of like saw about her, and then she saw the text. The last text was literally regarding the game itself.
Yeah, very sad.
Obviously
seeing your best friend pass away. Terrible.
Yeah. But what threw me off guard, and what I'm assuming everybody else too, is the fact that Sophia wakes up with tears in her eyes.
Yeah, and that was interesting. I was like, oh damn, she's not the only one that got reincarnated into the game, but she doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
it's yeah. So like Sophia's stance is pretty much the opposite of Katarina, because Katarina pretty much remembers. Yeah. Katarina remembers fully her life before she died, and Sophia is just thinking, what are these weird dreams? She's no idea as to kind of like what's going on. Yeah. And that's when we open up with the whole test.
The whole trial, like labyrinth kind of
trial
thing.
by labyrinth.
Yeah.
Split into teams. Go and fulfill your destiny. Kind of thing.
It was an interesting take on what they were doing there.
Yeah.
And they got split into groups and stuff. And then, they take the maze temple thing.
Yeah, and the way they split the teams, which I kind of saw coming, because, again, since this was more, I'd say it's more Sophia-centric, right?
Yeah, it really is.
So they split the teams into two different groups. Well, I guess with regarding our main character and everything, we have Sophia, Katarina, Keith, and Jordo in one team, and then in the other team we have Alan, Mary, and Maria.
Yeah, they get split up.
And Nicole is there, but Nicole, I guess, was kind of like.
It's kind of like
a proctor,
he's
kind
with
of.
the chairman.
Yeah. He's basically helping. He was like a volunteer, I guess, organizing everything.
Yeah.
I don't know, as far as I know.
So I think he took the test.
Yeah, and I guess the way I saw it, like the way the test works, it's kind of similar to the Cave of Wonders from Aladdin. that's the vibe I got. It's like basically there's gonna be a whole lot of treasure, but those don't matter. You touch them, and traps immediately go off.
Come on, man.
I think it was just a trap area.
It was kind of more like an Indiana Jones kind of feel for me.
Yeah,
especially with that trap reference.
Oh yeah, the boulder.
Yeah.
It's like whenever you have like this kind of scenario, it's like the anime or not, you gotta have a rock, a big rock just rolling towards you. And of course, Katarina was the one that was setting off all of them. She was just pressing every button and all of that stuff.
There was literally a red button on the floor, and she just pressed it. Like, oh, what is this?
It's like a scene straight out of Dexter's Laboratory where like Dee Dee just like presses like a random button. That's great.
But we get to see how everyone used their powers for once.
Oh yeah. So Jordo mentioned, I think Jordo probably mentioned that he had like fire powers, but like he finally gets to use it.
Yeah, no, it was like a past episode. They mentioned what each person's power was. And so we obviously know Keith is, Earth.
Keith is Earth, based off of that first episode, pretty much. And then
we finally get to see Jordo do his fire power.
Yeah, Jordo has fire power. Keith has, Earth power. And Katarina has Earth powers too, except
she was trying to get Earth powers.
But that is like, she put it up to kind of like get the ground normal, but then she pressed the tile right in front of it, and that automatically set up traps.
She was thinking ahead, man. She fixed that crack, right?
Yeah, but then she pushed herself against the wall, and then she got sucked into the void. No, she basically got. It was basically like a trap door leading somewhere else, and she got separated.
Secret passage to like this moonlight lit area with a bunch of shrooms.
It's literally just a secret area that she wound herself into, and I liked her thinking, but at the same time I was really worried because she was like, oh, I found a lot of these mushrooms. If I'm stuck here for a long time, I could just like live off of these mushrooms.
Which is a bad idea. Never do that.
No, especially if it's like mushroom related. You have no idea where those mushrooms come from.
Yep.
Talk to a doctor.
Plus they were purple, so that's just if you're thinking video game logic, purple mushrooms are always poison.
Yeah. And then Sophia and everybody, like they rendezvous with everybody. They met up with each other, and they met up with Nicole, and they're like, hey, wind magic, we can use our voices to project with wind or recon, basically.
No, they were like, if we could hear Katarina talk or something, we could find her with the wind.
Yeah.
So they were trying to stay quiet, and then that's when she shouted out some nonsense.
Mushrooms! Oh no, she literally shouted out mushrooms. And everybody's like, what? And then as Katarina was like, collecting mushrooms, she used like a rock, or she used like a shiny rock and just like cut all these mushrooms.
Now that I noticed, how did they get there? Since it was a secret passage, did they also find a secret passage?
I don't know, honestly. I just assumed that they probably like retraced their steps as to like where they lost her, and then they just found it that way. But speaking of they though, it was actually Sophia, because Katarina was like walking towards like. She was walking towards like the wall or something not the wall, but because the way that the whole secret area was set up, it was kind of like a spiral, kind of like pathway sort of.
Yeah.
And she was walking at the edge of it, and then she steps on it, and she loses her balance because the footing like kind of crumbles over.
The only way they found her because of the Nikolai dude, right?
Yeah,
Nicole and
he used the wind magic to
Nicole and Sophia. Yeah, they used their combined magic to
hear.
Yeah, and then when she was falling over, then Sophia like was right there, and then she grabs onto Katarina, and she's like, "I don't want to lose you again."
Oh yeah, because she almost fell, right?
Yeah,
she almost fell.
But it was crazy too because like when she said like, "I don't want to lose you again," that's when it's like
it triggered her. Yeah.
wait a minute. She said that because she remembers, kind of. But it's kind of interesting that nobody really, like, Katarina didn't really investigate that at all. Like, she was like, wait, why did she say that? Like,
so do you think Sophia knows that she's her past life?
I think subconsciously.
I think it's just dream.
It's dreams at this point, and I think it's more subconscious.
Okay.
So if she says, like, oh, do you remember this? She's not really actively thinking on it. She's mostly saying that based off of her past subconscious.
Okay.
Not really, like it's not as clear to her
that's
as
what I was
Katarina.
thinking when I was watching it. I was like, I think she knows that, that's her past life, and that's her.
To me, I think so far she's thinking that this is all a dream, and these are weird dreams I've been having.
Yeah. She doesn't fully remember or anything. So,
that's why she asks Katarina, like, oh, is it weird to have these kind of dreams of having a different life, I think?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's what I think it said.
Yeah, but yeah, so then, like, but then she catches her, and then when they, and then, like, a gust of wind comes up, and they help bring her in. Yeah, they help.
All fine and dandy.
All fine and dandy, but where did the wind come from? And who's the shadowy figure that helped them out?
You know who I'm thinking it is?
The student council president?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. That's my first guess.
Raphael, I think his name was.
Yeah.
We'll put it on the screen. But yeah, probably Raphael.
That's what I'm thinking. I could
name.
be wrong. It could be a whole new character. I don't know. Who knows? And then the last part of it, that shadowy figure behind Katarina.
Yeah.
What's that all about? So
I don't know. Maybe Secret Awakening. Who knows? It might be. I was thinking it's probably like. Actually, no. I think you mentioned it that it was probably her villain side. Maybe that's like probably manifesting again. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, because
the darkness.
There's gotta be a villain in the game. So
yeah.
Maybe that's trying to take
darkness.
Nature's course.
Yeah. All around though, like these two episodes. First episode was just filler. Second episode, a lot of plot, a lot of good plot.
Yeah.
A lot of. Can't wait to see what happens on the next couple episodes.
Yeah, episode 8 and 9.
We'll see.
So we'll see.
We'll see where that goes. All right, and then moving on to our next anime, we got Gleipnir, episode 9 for this one. And again, it just kind of continues off from the last episode. It literally, so I found it kind of weird this last episode when it ended off. It kind of ended with them like kind of looking for the coins, but like only for the first minute. And this one just kind of continues off of that. But it was kind of a weird ending point from last episode. Anyway, moving on though, they search for the coins and they come across the signs from like 2-3 episodes ago when Sanbei was around.
Yup.
And they cut down the dude and they showed the corpse, and I was thinking like, wait a minute, why is the corpse still there? Did nobody clean it up or anything?
Nope.
Yeah, I guess not. And then what was his name? Uehara, the camera dude.
Oh, I forget.
He was
camera guy.
He's upset because he's just like, oh, these guys, I can't trust them. Like he's giving off, like I've said this before, but he's giving off like really big like a Bakio energy from JoJo, but like he's not likable in the very least, like at all. Like he's just
the camera guy.
He's just an asshole, really much.
Yeah, he gives up that vibe. He's like, what? At any moment, obviously he can't betray them or stuff. But,
no.
But if he could, he would.
Yeah. Like, I hate them. I hate them more than liking here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they come across these signs and they're like, okay, so let's not go. Let's stay away from here because we don't want to deal with trouble. Because I guess this group, they have a moral code. They're like, okay, we don't have to kill if we don't have to.
Yeah.
We'll just stick with whatever we know, and we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, because it was like marked territory, and so they knew that, but they were like, well, the spaceship's on that side either way, so we gotta find. Let's go this way.
Yeah.
Instead.
But unfortunately, as they're going that way, Claire realizes that wait a minute, this is a trap because that's what they want. They know that anybody that's like inexperienced or doesn't know what the parts are like, they're gonna go down this path and they're gonna ambush us. And sure enough, right there on the top of a peak.
Yeah, it was pretty smart of her. I didn't.
The guys we saw in what episode was it?
I think it was episode either 3 or 4 with the gorilla guy.
Yeah, and the girl that looks like the main character.
We find out what happens after that fight.
Yeah, but not.
Oh well, that's right now.
That's a little later. But either way though, so the gang's right there. You know, they're plotting like kind of like what to do and everything. And then you see this giant centipede dude like rush in.
Yeah, taking
because
this
he's
opportunity.
Yeah, because they were running away.
Yeah, they decided to disperse, and the centipede guy couldn't contain himself. He was like, "Oh, fresh meat!" And I gotta say this right now, but the group is very rapey. As
the enemy gorilla group.
The group in general. I'm not even saying just the gorilla man himself. I'm just saying the group in general, because we find out that the Titan-looking dude that got sliced in half by Sanbei was from the same group, and like he was licking the phone and everything. So like pretty much everybody in the group are just like massive rapists. And I'm saying this right now because like the centipede guy, he comes in, he corners our group. Yeah. And immediately Shuichi and Claire go into fighting position and everything. Yeah. They get whooped, they get bodied, and then immediately the centipede guy grabs the main leader Sayaka and starts molesting her pretty much. Like just like, grabs her.
Like, cause the centipede guy has like multiple arms, and so he's like got her by the arms, got her by the legs, and got him where the
yeah. Where the milk comes out, and and then that's when we finally get revealed to what Yota the pretty boy could do, what his abilities are. Finally. And he takes I didn't say this one before, but I gotta show you guys this, but he reminds me a lot of like the Demi Fiend from Shin Megami Tensei, from this game called Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, because he's fully like he's bare chested, wears pants, and he has tattoos on his all around his body. So he reminds me of like the main character from the game Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. And, but then he transforms into this state. His basically all his physical abilities are enhanced.
It's not much of a transform, more of a I guess attack 2 grows on him or something.
Yeah, that gives him powers and stuff, and he's able to
just a lot of strength. He loves fighting.
Yeah, he doesn't like fighting, but like whenever stuff like this happens. Oh, and that was when that was when we found out about the girl that happened. And it turns out she kind of lost her head.
Yeah.
They cut her head off and put it in a plastic bag.
Yeah, because I was wondering what happened to her, because like it's been episodes and they haven't gone back to that fight. And then
I had a feeling she lost because like in the opening, like I said, like the gorilla man was there, but not her. Girl, so I'm pretty sure like she lost, and she did very badly.
Yeah, it sucked. It was like she got hit in one move.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyways,
so continuing off from there, Yota absolutely obliterates this man. He's still alive.
Rips his jaw off.
Yeah, rips his jaw off and like completely defaces him and everything. Yeah. He's still alive though. Like, they didn't. He was gonna kill him. Yeah,
he was gonna straight up kill him.
But again, like the group's moral code is that they don't kill.
Yeah,
I just sucks. No, it's kind of strange. It's kind of funny too because like, if you think about it, like this is Shuichi's group. They didn't have to go with this group. Yeah. They could have just went with any other group. But I guess they were like, we're not picky. We'll just pick a group to go with.
Yeah, because now.
I'm just saying, if Sanbei had joined, like this would have been way easier.
Where is he, man?
He's out there.
Remember what he said, man.
But what is he doing? If they're not
strong, I don't want to be with them.
Yeah, he knew. He knew.
But I'm like, what is he doing right now, though?
Probably fighting other people with abilities.
I want to see that.
But yeah, so then they still run away, and the group finds them, and then they're like, "Oh shoot, you're like, oh man, he's dead. Oh, he failed. Kill him right now." Instead of beating Man's and the gorilla man's like, "No, this is not our way. we have to honor his death by feeling his pain. And he pulls out one of his tooth.
Only him, because he's the leader.
Yeah.
The other guys were like, yeah, sure, whatever, boss.
So I mean, at least as rapey as they are, at least like they have like a moral code with their teammates. At least he does.
The leader does.
The leader does. Everybody else is like,
he shows loyalty to his fellow comrades. But
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like once the leader's down, it's gonna be havoc.
Yeah. And unfortunately, he catches up to them, and again we get a Dragon Ball Z moment where like everybody kind of like feels for his power. He at first he goes for the big
the gentle giant.
The gentle giant.
Because he thought he was the one that.
Which makes sense.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, we would have thought the same too.
Yeah, big guy.
But Yota tries to save him, but then he also gets his ass kicked, and yeah, it's not looking too great.
Nope.
His power level's way larger than the Centipede Man.
He kept ignoring the handsome dude.
Yeah.
Even though it was him that did the.
I mean, regardless, he still got his ass kicked though, and so now we're in a dilemma because it's like, wait a minute, Centipede Man, stronger than.
But then Gorilla Man is like, I'm gonna stop, and I see a nice body.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because again, they're all rapey, but
pretty much like the gorilla was pretty much saying that, and he ended up going after our main protagonist.
Yeah. So that was the end of that episode. But like, I guess to recap, I've noticed that Shuichi and crew never won a fight besides the first one, like on their own. Because I guess they bested Sanbei, but it was basically like a mind over mind over matter kind of mind over brute.
They outsmarted him.
Strength, yeah. And like even with the fusion of Shuichi and Chihiro, that one was mainly on accident, and they didn't really have much control over it.
Yeah.
So honestly, the only one that they really won against was the first girl, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I think it'll be tough for them because they're in a group now, so I guess they're trying to protect each other in a way. So.
I mean, yeah, with how the fights are going, it's definitely more of like an underdog story. Like, it's like Shuichi and crew are not the strongest people by any stretch of the means.
But they got heart.
They got heart, man. that'll hopefully bring them, gonna bring them forward.
Yeah,
I mean, they're the MC, so of course it will.
Yeah, so they left off, with that, a fight about to happen.
Yep.
We'll see who turns on.
All right, and then the next episode that we're going to be talking about is Tower of God. We continue on the game of tag with Team B, and oh my gosh, it's so different than how Team A was.
It's all over the place.
Team A was like more traditional. Like, yeah, there was the whole Kun kind of like having a second plan that he didn't tell Team A about, that he lost on purpose.
Yeah.
But man, Team B is like on a whole different ballpark with like betrayal and like all this stuff. So first off, it starts off with Endorsi, kicking those two guys' asses that we saw from the previous episode that ended off in.
Mm-hmm.
And Endorsi just continues to just pummel him, and Bam is right there, just kind of like...
Yeah, Bam can't believe what he's looking at.
Yeah, it's like,
we're supposed to be a team.
This? I mean, it's not like Bam was around to see like what was going on in Hots' side, because Hots was kind of doing the same thing with the spear dudes, because he was like, you guys suck. And
yeah, and he was right about that.
Yeah, and then what's his face? Quark was there too, kind of like, he was there trying to see like who has the badge and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
he was confronting Hots. Hots was like, okay guys, now. They didn't realize that like
because they encounter them in the stairs, and then obviously Hot's there by himself trying to defend and attack him at the same time. Yeah, and then they kind of betrayed him, and Quark didn't like exactly was it Quark or Quant? Quant, I think, right? The red hair guy? Yeah, the red hair guy. All right, we'll put it on the screen. Put it on the screen. I'm pretty sure it's Quark. Yeah, he's like, okay, you guys are scumbags. You guys betrayed everybody. And then on another side, we also see kind of like what Ho's deal was. And it turns out Ho was actually given a letter to pretty much take out Michelle, aka Rachel.
And yeah, he's just pretty much
Everybody has his own agenda in this part.
There's
there's no teamwork.
Chivalry's dead.
There's no teamwork at all. It's pure chaos.
Yeah, Serena is like just kind of like thinking like, oh my god, what did I get myself into?
But the whole part was pretty much is that he had to take the Rachel.
Yeah.
Pretty much, and use them as hostage.
Yeah, use him as hostage, and so that he can get rid of Bam because he hates Bam with passion, and he got a mysterious letter from God knows who, and yeah, in general, Bam is trying to contact Rachel to see what's going on.
If she's all right,
and little did he know she wasn't. But Court comes in. Realizes what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And Bam also comes in, and as he's like basically threatening Rachel, he's like, okay, you take him out. I just need this. I don't want Bam here anymore. And then Bam basically pretty much does the whole Sharingan thing.
Because first the guy, the redhead guy, he teaches him a technique
by using it on him, by freezing himself. Yeah,
and so that's why because he's still trying to win the game of tag.
Yeah,
he's the only one that's trying to play tag in this damn game, where everyone has their own agenda. So he's like, all right, I teach you this move, you learn it, and then you could probably say Rachel.
Yeah. So, and he does, but not before stabbing him, and then Ho gets hit with the whole like freezing thing. He falls over, and he's like, "Oh no, let me tell you my story." And he tells him his story. He takes a knife, and he kills himself, just like that. He's dead.
Just ends up killing himself.
Yep.
Tragic backstory,
and then as his lifeless body's there, and Dorsey catches up, and then they're like, "Hey, I got the badge right here."
Yeah.
Show off what's inside my vest. I'm gonna make it to the top. I'm gonna get there.
But it's crazy with all these betrayals and stuff. It was confusing for Bam because they signed that paper, and he thought that paper was a sign of friendship, and
Ho's like, "Oh, nah. What are you talking about? Friends don't exist. It's all about yourself."
And like, no. Service.
That's why Ho's dead now. He didn't believe in friendship hard enough.
I made a rough pass, so.
Hey, but they ended up passing because.
Yes, because while Bam and Dorsey were like basically tag teaming and everything, Quark rushes in, grabs the vest with the badge, but then it turns out it was actually
and Dorsey tricks him.
Yeah,
I think when they're close to each other, she ends up grabbing it from behind.
She pickpockets.
Yeah, because obviously he had his badge in front of him, showing off because he has nothing to prove.
Yeah, and then she takes it. And turns out she had that and the actual badge, and the thing that Quark had was actually her underwear.
That's funny.
He's like, what happened?
That was pretty much it.
Yep, that was the whole episode. We got to see Team B kick ass and
take names.
Yeah. All right, and then the next episode that we're heading on to is Princess Connect.
Now this was the beach episode.
This was the beach episode that we were thinking that my next life as a villainess would have, because this one straight up starts off with Kokoro in line, for the bizarre lottery and stuff. She gets it on her last try, and turns out, we want a beach trip. And then they go into the beach and they just have a lot of fun. Kokoro puts on a swimsuit the night before, shows it off to Yuki, and they practice how to swim.
It's adorable. Yeah, it's super adorable. So wholesome. And, well, they were making too much noise, which they were like, "Shut up already!"
Yeah, and then like when they actually get to the beach, they have a lot of fun.
Yeah, good old time.
They do a lot of swimming. Pecorine is like, "Hey, no, let's take you for a ride," Carol and stuff. it was just a lot of fun all together. And then as that's going on, we get reintroduced to our friends, the maid and the donkey.
Yes, the donkey, the real goat.
Yep. Suzume and Saren, who were on the scene, and then it turns out that bringing up the donkey though, the donkey's still here.
Yeah.
Even though he ran away.
Aren't you glad? I'm glad he's all right.
Yeah. We here at the Anime Squad podcast love donkeys.
But anyways,
but yeah, so Suzume and Saren are there, and they're like, "Hey, we got an outdoor hut. We got food and stuff." Like, yeah, food. And
then they're like, this food's so delicious. They're like, why is it so empty here? What's happening?
It turns out they have competition.
Oh no.
And the competition has some bomb taiyaki, some good old taiyaki and takoyaki, and they were like, the Saren is not too happy with it because it turns out the competition's kind of hurting the business.
More than hurting, it's destroying their business.
It's very much is destroying their business, and they declare war.
Well, it's more like a friendly competition, like see who gets more clients and stuff.
Yep, but then of course this war goes awry when all of a sudden one of the waitresses from the opposing team, from the opposing establishment, decides to get a little fun, gets day drunk.
Yeah.
She's like, where are all the cute boys at? I wanna have some fun too.
I love her banter. She's like, I see couples over there, I see couples over here. Where's my man?
Yeah, and then her friend, he told me, grabs her and tries to throw her into the sea to kind of sober her up.
Yeah.
Which it's a nice gesture, but it turns out that
she threw her in the wrong spot.
Yeah, and that wrong spot is home to a giant kraken who is not very thrilled to have a guest. I like how his only word in the whole episode is just squid.
Imagine he was just trying to tell him like, "Hey, is this belong to you?"
Yeah,
but they just couldn't understand.
Our Kraken friend could have done it. It's completely understandable what he did. But unfortunately, Pecorine and Carol come to the scene, and Pecorine and Carol just tear him a new one.
Oh, but before that, I just remember that Pecorine also describes how her power goes.
Yes. Which is interesting that you brought it up because I did not see any of that come into play.
Yeah,
because earlier she mentions that her armor actually gives her all of those supernatural abilities, including, but not limited to, being hungry.
Yeah.
Because she has a huge amount of strength, stamina, just all of her powers in general is just all tied to her armor. But the downside is that when she uses that power, that's when she gets super hungry. So she basically has the abilities and cons, the pros and cons of being an anime protagonist, all because of that suit of armor.
It's like straight up RPG elements. It's like, you have this piece of armor, you gain this, but the con is this.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're too weighted now. But yeah, so moving on to kind of what happened within that storyline, or with the whole giant kraken thing. So Carol and Pecorine get into the scene. Pecorine just again grabs them Bowser style, from Mario 64, and just kind of tosses them and just kind of lifts them up and everything. Carol uses her magic to kind of I guess make him more weightlessness. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
it's kind of worded weird.
I guess because Pecorine's still wearing the crown,
yeah,
so she still has the strength. So,
yeah, I think that's probably what it was. Yeah.
When she tried to lift it, I think Katarine she kind of gives her a boost, and
Carol,
and then they bring it to the shores.
Yeah, and then Saren had a phoenix sword.
I think it was so cool.
Yeah, she shoots a blade of fire, and then it turns into a phoenix, and then it just
obliterates
him to hell. And I was thinking, you know what? Maybe the squid is still alive somehow.
Maybe
he's okay.
I was about to mention that. that you thought they were gonna just let it free, go back into the wild.
But then they kill him. Then they turn him into food, and he's dead.
Yep, and now they have squid on the menu.
Yep. But what the episode actually ended off with was really adorable because Carol was mentioned like, hey, you know, you guys, I heard you guys wanted to swim and stuff, you know, like cast this magic, and they're like, what's going on?
Like a swim.
Let's swim underwater, and then Kokoro in particular was like, you know, really happy because she would have never thought that she'd go on adventures like this, and
in her wildest dreams, she would never thought she would be here with a great group of people.
Yeah,
it's very like sweet and wholesome of her.
Yep.
And then you can see like underwater, like almost under the sea moment.
Almost makes you forget that the giant kraken that did nothing wrong was murdered. But no, for real though, it was very sweet and adorable with how it all ended. Again, all around it was a nice wholesome episode, nice wholesome beach episode.
Yeah, very wholesome.
Yeah. All around good time.
Yeah, love this episode. Always love this show now.
Yeah. All right, and the next episode that we're gonna be heading on to is with BNA.
Hey,
BNA, hey, for you, ready to go. So it starts off with well, from last episode, kind of like where it left off with Michiru meeting up with Nazuna, and Michiru basically confronting like, hey, you know, the same thing that we heard a couple episodes ago, where Michiru's telling Nazuna, was like, hey, you know, you shouldn't be using your powers like this, you know, like you're not the real Ginro. I already know the real Ginro. You know, she didn't really tell her who it was, but she basically knows, you know, like, you're not the real Ginro. You're a phony. You're a liar. And Dio is creepy and gross. Boris.
But she's not having it. She's like, whatever, you know. I'm living my dream. I'm doing what I'm doing. So back off.
Mm-hmm. But of course, that's not the main point of this episode. The main point of this episode is actually kind of deja vu in a sense for Michiru, where she sees Nazuna being taken up by suits in a black van, and she instantly remembers, like, wait a minute, this happened before.
Yeah.
What's going on? So she immediately she uses a combination of all of her powers that she's accumulated thus far. You know, she turns into a cheetah, tries to run after it. Then she takes shortcuts, and then she goes, she flies up as like a bird and stuff, and like kind of like, you know, catches her.
Yeah, she's getting very used to transforming. Like, very.
And then eventually, she gets led into the medical center, the original medical center that she was in, and then she camouflages herself, goes into the building, sneaks in, and she finds out that Nazuna is just like captured in all this like devices and stuff, and then she immediately just like, no, I'll save you, and then like goes big arm and like tries to rescue her, and Nazuna's like, wait, no, it's not what you're thinking, not what you're thinking.
But Michiru's like just head first, think
she's
later.
Yeah, exactly. She's the perfect like anime protagonist that's like, you know, does not think of the consequences or anything.
Mm. So like the security guards come after her, and, you know, trying to tame her, like, yeah, calm down.
They got the whole like animal thing and everything, and it's all the animal catching nets, or like the wires, and it's all electrified and all that stuff. And then when they finally capture Alan Silvasta, Rufus Shinra, comes in and is like, oh, this is all just a misunderstanding. You see, we'll tell you everything regarding why you guys are the way you are.
Yeah. And I liked it because I you know, it was kind of drifting off from how, like, her whole purpose being there. It's like, to kind of find a cure for her beastness. And so they explained how the bloods got mixed when they were getting like blood infused in them. Because
it was explained earlier that Nazuna and Michiru were caught in a bike accident, and they were both admitted to the same hospital where they both got the blood transfusion. And it turned out that the blood packets themselves actually came from the medical center with Beastman blood, and it got mixed into kind of like what they were supposed to be receiving, which is why it led to their transformation in the first place.
Yeah, because they're doing experiments and stuff with that blood they were using.
Yeah.
So that's why Michiru and Nazuru have both have the same ability.
Yep.
To transform.
They both are beastmen that can be able to transform, and they realize that, like, oh, this cult stuff, you know, that's kind of a good segue.
Yeah, it was kind of like part of like Alan's plan.
Yeah.
That's why Nazuru is
It's part of the Ginro cult, and, you know, they're
helping Alan to find a cure.
It's all just a front, but then, like, as they were kind of like brought back in, you know, via like limo ride and everything like that, that's when That's when Nazuna. You see a little bit of change with Nazuna. Nazuna actually acknowledges, like, okay, Boris, leave my room. You're really creepy.
Well, finally, man. Like, she was finally like opening her eyes a bit. You know, it's like, hey, give me my space.
Yep. And then even though we didn't really see much of Shiro in this episode, like, because again, like last episode was all about Shiro.
Bonkers.
Shiro was Shiro was actually like kind of nice. He gave her a little cookie and she was like, hey, you know, here you go. So it's kind of like a tsundere. Which is funny because, you know, he's actually Wolf Jesus.
Wolf Jesus.
Basically giving us tsundere Jesus.
And yeah, that's basically it, the whole episode. I liked it.
It was more exposition and kind of like telling us kind of like what actually happened.
Yeah, we finally get a conclusion and the mystery of how she got that beast form.
Yep.
So that's good.
All around great episode. Can't wait for more.
Yep. Same boat.
Yep. All right, and now the next episode of anime that we have on our list is Sing Yesterday for Me.
Oh boy.
I guess more of a continuation from last episode with Shinako cooking dinner for Ro.
Yeah.
It just kind of shows more of like Ro more chilling out. I guess he's not as angry in this episode as he was like the past couple.
Yeah, he's more
episodes.
like calmed down. He's like he kind of sees what he did.
Yeah, he apologizes for being
so aggressive,
for being an ass, and. More so than that, I actually felt really bad for Haru this episode because, oh my gosh, my girl, she's just kind of like rolling around in sadness.
She's out. She's like, you know, no one's really paying attention to her.
No, I mean her crow is, but but like in general though, it's like Haru is just you feel real bad for her,
yeah.
and then in general, like, you know, Rikuo is also kind of like. I think Rico is also kind of like slowly understanding the whole scenario too. Like he's just kind of like thinking to himself, like, man, you know, like she's thinking back on Haru, but still, like, of course, you know, she's thinking more so back with Shinako and everything.
Well, yeah, they have more history, so it makes more sense for him to have more concentration.
Speaking of history, we got a lot of flashbacks, and then we all start to realize, man, she looks way better with long hair.
Right? That's what I was saying.
I forgot she had long hair because like she only had it for that first episode, and then
it was very brief. Yeah, it was very brief.
Yeah, and then she cut it at the end of that same episode, and I'm like, oh my god, man.
Yeah, but she looked good with long hair.
Yeah. And then in general, like Rikuo invites Shinako to the Christmas party because like as Rikuo was kind of like looking through like old photos because his friends like, you know, it's like, hey, let me see some like old college photos. He was looking through photos to kind of like see like what he could show, and then Shinako was kind of like right there. She came to the apartment. And they just kind of like had a nice brief conversation, and Rikuo casually invites Shinako.
Because she had extra food from the...
Yeah, from cooking at Rose's house.
Yeah.
And that's when the conversation was brought up. It's like, hey, you know, you want to come to the Christmas party that at my friend's place, and it's, you know, all that stuff. She said no because she said like, I'm trying to help Ro with his entrance exams and stuff.
Yeah, because she's trying to get used to cooking again over there. You know, not leaving them left out like how she was a couple weeks ago and stuff.
And then of course, when he brings him back to when he brings, you know, Shinako back to Shinako's apartment, of course Haru was there at the wrong time.
And he was not there.
Waiting for him, and he wasn't there. And then she left, and then
she waited there for a while, and then you know,
and then,
obviously
like,
it was getting cold.
I thought it was kind of like pointless for her to like kind of be there, but then the one thing that kind of like that was left behind was the crow feather, and that's when he realized, wait a minute, Haru was here.
Yeah, Haru was here.
That was a great sign right there. And then the Christmas party happens and everything, and I thought to myself, man, like, you know, Rikuo's doesn't have Haru. I was expecting Haru to show up, to be honest. I thought Haru was gonna take Shinako's place.
Nah, I doubt it, because she works at nights, and you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it made more sense with the other two because they already knew
have
her.
history. Yeah, that's true.
Plus,
they
all know each other.
Yeah,
they're all from college.
They're from the same college.
Yeah, and then we have Shinako. We have Shinako kind of like, you know, make dinner for Ro again, and then Ro's like, hey, you know, I want to I want to sketch a portrait of you.
She gives him a gift. No, she gives him like a. Oh, I think she gave him that sketchbook to like draw.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, I'm gonna put it to use. Let me draw you.
Yeah. And then they. I was about to say like, man, it's like they're probably gonna go with the Titanic.
Omar found it weird because.
Yeah.
It was just those two.
The dad wasn't there.
I brought it up before the anime did. I was like, where's the dad? What's up with this tension?
No, and it turns out that the dad was actually somewhere else. He was in Kanazawa, and that's when Shinako was like, because what made it weird was that Ro was like, hey, could you be able to like loosen up your shirt?
Well,
make
he
it
said
more
that
sexy?
because she was like tense. She was like getting like she was realizing what the mood in the room was feeling like.
Yeah.
So she was like, well, I'm gonna get out.
Yeah, and that's when she was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna get out of Dodge. I'm not gonna.
It's kind of getting late. You got school tomorrow, so I'll let you be. And he's like, it's 8 o'clock. What do you mean?
I was just thinking to myself, like, man, he didn't even get to finish that portrait.
It was almost mid done.
Yeah.
It was like a quick sketch.
And then we find out that the college friend at the party receives a phone call. He's like, Rico's like, hey, what was that? Oh, it's gonna be a big surprise. And then it turns out that the big surprise was actually Shinako showing up.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the end of that episode.
It was sweet. It was sweet of her to show up because she had time.
Yeah.
So, might as well show up.
More Shinako development, but not so much Haru. Sadly, yeah. Haru, and then that same episode, Haru was actually looking around like, hey, when's he gonna show up? But
yeah. Oh well. But then every time I see the ending, I'm like, oh, it hurts. But it was a good episode.
Good episode all around. But yeah, then moving on to our quote unquote final last episode of the show, of the series, of the season that we saw this week. Love is War.
Love is War.
So in this episode, the first scenario that we are introduced with is finally addressing what Miko was seeing and the fact that Miko is just saying like, oh my gosh, these scandals.
this is not what I thought the students' council would be. I thought it would be more strict, more professional.
She's talking to her friend about this.
So I thought it would be more professional. Like this, they ended up just being perverts, man whores.
Yeah, and what's interesting too, because the fact that the friend knows everything about what Miko is about or what Miko's like, she immediately just draws to the conclusion like, wait a minute, it's just Miko It's just Miko drawing to the conclusion like just faster than she's supposed to, which is why she's getting these misunderstandings. And as she's clearing the misunderstandings, it turns out because like her whole the whole center of those misunderstandings came from Shirogane, and like how Shirogane is like a man whore and like a pervert and stuff. But then she was like thinking about it, and she was like, wait a minute, the fault is not Shirogane, it's Kaguya. And she immediately just like addresses like, oh man, Kaguya is the one that did it. She's the one that seduced Shirogane. She's the one that like
she's the mastermind,
the dominatrix. Yeah. And she goes to the council room, and she's like, what are you like? How dare you do this to Shirogane? What do you think of him? And Kaguya gives the most innocent response. He's like, what do you mean? How do I think of them? Yeah, I don't even know how I think of them.
Yeah, because Miko, she's like, how do you feel about the president? And she's like, I don't even know that answer to that question. Just runs away instantly.
Yeah, and then that's when Miko's like more confused as ever. Didn't really solve anything except for the fact that Shirogane is not at fault. And then the second scenario has Kaguya is basically a continuation from the last episode where Kaguya was like, came back from the hospital and everything and having problems talking with Shirogane. Leaves the room all the time, because of the fact that she's still not recovered from the whole near kiss scene.
Yeah, she's still like awkward about it, and she doesn't know how to go.
Very much so. So she goes up to Hayasaka and tells her like, hey, what do I do in order to like kind of get this out of my mind? And then Hayasaka mentions, well, everyone has a ritual that they kind of do to kind of like make themselves calm.
I thought that was good advice though.
Yeah,
because it's very true. There's some people that do like weird stuff in order to like cleanse their mind and like be at one.
Yeah, and then the one that she found was the fact that like, okay, so there's a song and dance number that you can do, and the song and dance involves like doing all these moves, and it actually was really cool that I found was the fact that it looks very smooth Kind of reminds me of the Chica dance from episode 3 of the first season.
Yeah.
And as she was doing the dance, she immediately like puts her left hand, her right hand on her left cheek, and she's like, "Oh, this feels really nice." And then Hayasaka basically does like Pavlov's classical conditioning thing, where she basically trains her over and over again. Hey, put your right hand on your cheek. And so with that training, she uses it to confront Shirogane, and Shirogane just immediately just goes in a rapid fire, confronts her like, "Hey, are you okay? Why are you doing this?"
Pretty much like the street fighting.
It goes into a Street Fighter like kind of like combat.
And I like in the anime,
health bars and
they display like as like a street, like like in Street Fighter, like
with health bars and everything,
and the meter. So it's super cool.
And immediately Kaguya was losing, but then immediately judo throws Shirogane over, and go, done, game set. But then in that in between, what kind of like kind of raises the question is like, wait a minute, is this a for real scenario? Because like she was wearing a VR headset, and then Ishigami was there, and he was just kind of like what looked like he was like spouting nonsense and everything. So it didn't really make sense at all.
So yeah, we don't like it didn't happen.
No. All around though, it was a. Oh yeah, on the last part though, I was about to skip that part for whatever reason. The last part actually has Ishigami and kind of like seeing like where he's coming from.
I like this one the most.
Yeah, no, same here. Ishigami ends up joining the cheer squad because he realizes that he has no friends and he wants to learn how to become a normie. But then he realizes that joining the cheer squad is actually way worse because he's like, wait a minute, this is a cheer squad. This is just joining here. You have to be a normie because everybody's super social. Everybody's talking about Instagram and Line and everything, and I don't have any of that stuff.
Like everyone's super social and he's not.
And the dilemma that kind of comes from this is the fact that like everybody is trying to, I guess, cross-dressing and stuff. Yeah, and he realizes.
They were doing a thing for the festival.
Yeah,
so.
Sports festival. So they thought
they were thinking of ideas. Yeah. Of what to do for the sports festival.
He wasn't involved because he wasn't trying to like take. He was just taking the backseat of all of it, and that's when they brought us like, oh, the cross-dressing.
Yeah, because they picked different ideas, but they weren't working, and at the end they ended up picking.
The president, the leader, he's like, you know what, we'll cross-dress.
Yeah,
sounds like a fun idea.
And he realizes I don't have female friends that I can like ask female uniforms for.
So he goes through like the cycle of
Miko. Oh, that's lewd or whatever. And then Chika's like, oh, you're just a creep. And then he thought of Kaguya. He's like, oh, Kaguya's just scary. And then Kaguya like
she overheard that.
She overheard exactly what was going on. And then she's like, okay, wear my uniform. Miko comes in when that happens
again at the wrong time
and just leaves. But what I found kind of funny too was like as he was like wearing the outfit and everything and she was doing his makeup, Shirogane comes in and like is actually like overseeing like what was going on and he's actually getting jealous. So that was fun. We don't actually get to see what happened at the Great Festival, but all around it was.
It'll probably be the next episode.
It's gonna be the next episode, so I honestly can't wait to see what the payoff is with that one. All around, really funny, but we'll see what happens.
Great
all right,
episode.
And so that ends our anime squad. Wait a minute. Nope. We actually have a contender to this. Called The Great Pretender.
Out of nowhere, coming left field.
Oh, we got an anime drop. Yeah, so we added the new anime Great Pretender, which is on Netflix, but Netflix Japan, but they only have the 3 episodes there so far, so we decided to only just tackle this one episode at a time, just to kind of like keep things fair. So for the first episode that we have here so far, impressions right off the bat, I really like it. I like the fact that we have an anime set in LA, which is basically what we're close to.
Super awesome.
Yep. And art is really cool. And
it all started like in Japan, and it started in LA, in the LA board, the LA, what do you call it? Sign?
The Hollywood sign?
The Hollywood sign, yeah.
Yeah, with him.
He was just hanging, and we
didn't
like know.
The poster of the anime.
Yeah.
And we didn't know why he was there until we get, I guess, not a flashback, but it
kinda
pushes
like
back
showing what
3 hours
happened,
later,
yeah.
or the time.
What lent up to be there?
Hmm?
So they ended up back in Japan. I guess we were starting in Japan, and that's when he was having their what was it
They were trying to sell water purifiers.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Yeah, they were just straight up con artists.
Yeah, doing their typical con moves.
At first, we thought only one guy was doing it.
The old guy.
Yeah, the old guy.
Because he was very condescending.
Oh yeah.
Very much. Not
the typical con artist, but we have our main character.
Then the old lady is like, I don't get out of here.
Yeah. He figured it out. Yeah. She figured it out.
But then she calls the real water tester to like check her water, and then here comes our MC. He's like, oh,
the water's fine, but it's mostly there. It's mostly like gone. What do you mean mostly? What do you mean negative effects for my age? I have a daughter who just had a baby. What's going on with her? Well, if you really have
in that case, I got the great item for you.
Yeah, the water purifier, but it is really expensive.
So he was also con artist as well.
Yep.
So both of them were working together.
Yep.
Right after he did the purchase and stuff, they went and talked to each other like, we did it.
Yep.
Pretty much.
And then we get to meet our other character, the white man,
the foreign tourist who's at first was just like, oh, I am American,
speaking that English.
Yeah. And they do a lot of like wallet switcheroos, and it turns out that the foreigner actually had the real wallet, and our main character actually didn't have the real wallet, just had a whole bunch of newspaper clippings.
Yeah. So they ended up taking the wallet to their house, and they were checking. Well, at the end, they checked inside the wallet, and there was nothing in there.
Yep.
And then the
feds came.
The feds came.
And as he was like escaping, he gets into a cab, and it turns out that the foreign dude was actually right there. And where was he going? Oh, I'm going to the airport right now.
To
Los Angeles. Okay, I'm coming with you. I was thinking, like, man.
All speaking English.
I can speak English just fine. Oh, wow, that English is quite nice. What kind of accent is that?
But to be fair, they were doing a good job.
They were, yeah, for what they were doing. And then, like, and then they actually took the plane. They con artist their way in by framing some poor couple with that. Oh, they had knives.
Trying to go to Disneyland.
Trying, but just did not fail. Just failed. They came here, and yeah, it was so quick. They immediately just came to the They immediately came to to LA.
And to LA traffic.
In and out, and showing off the in and out and the LAX sign
and the LA traffic. Don't forget, that's very important.
Very, very important. And that's when we get the transition from like, okay, this is no longer in English. Okay, we're doing Japanese now.
And then they, I guess they make a plan, or they're like a deal. I guess
we're gonna con a Hollywood producer.
Yeah, because that was the English guy's whole plan. That was his whole business, and then he just tagged along with it.
Yep. They go to his house and they're like, "Hey, hola amigos, ¿cómo está? ¿Qué tal?"
that was the French guy. What was his name? Again?
The
Laurent.
Yeah.
Laurent. Yeah. We got Makoto with our actual MC. We got Laurent. Yeah. So they go in, they're like, hey, we got some drugs and stuff, and this drug works really well. It's like, okay, let's get that one girl, because they have a whole bunch of girls there. Yeah, it's like hanging around with
Hollywood.
It's a Hollywood way. So they're like, okay, let's get the girl that doesn't know English at all. Okay. And then she just like just jumps around like a monkey and just like...
She overreacted. There was no way one pill. Like, it must have been like the bestest drug ever.
Honestly, when I saw that, I thought she was being possessed. That was crazy. Yeah. But then, like, after she goes through that high, and all the other girls like, oh, let me have some too. And then he's like, oh, well, let's have our doctor try some. So she gives Makoto like a couple doses, and then Makoto is just like, just over, like he was just all over the place.
Yeah.
He grabbed a gun and he almost like tried to kill this dude.
The crazy part was where he was about to shoot, but he didn't shoot. It sounded like a gunshot, but it was the door itself just closing.
He just ran off, and then he grabbed a whole bunch of dirt and like immediately pocket sand this one dude, and then he just jumped the fence.
Yeah, he used them as a stepping stool.
Yeah, that was really funny. And then like as the Hollywood producers goons were trying to get him, he was able to escape them, but Laurent was there, and it turns out that the girl that was like jumping around like a monkey, Amy, was actually, or Abby, sorry, not Amy, Abby was right there, and it turns out she was actually like his cohort.
I saw that. I kind of saw that coming.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I think it's probably the advertising that kind of like spoiled it.
No, I think it was her overreacting with the drug. That's what got me. I was like,
yeah. And so like as that was going on, that's when we cut to the actual
him being on
Hollywood
the top
sign,
on the Hollywood sign, and
because she knocks him out, pretty much.
Yeah, because even though he's a quote unquote black belt in karate, she actually just like knocks him out with one kick, and then
he ended up on the
Hollywood sign.
Come on, man, he's a con man. He has to, try to make it convincing.
Yeah, all around the anime was great. I love the.
What do you think, man? What's your rating for, I guess, first episode?
First episode, I'd say it's like almost an 8 or so. Like it was really solid. Like I really like the animation. I like the backgrounds, like the colors and everything really stands out, and I'm just kind of like wanting to see where it goes. I think the reason why I didn't like rank it a little higher was because like I don't exactly know what the characters are all about yet. I don't know what the motivations for everything is yet, but I feel like that's kind of like to be expected with the first episode. Yeah. We don't know what else to go off of yet, so it's just an introduction of things.
Omar?
Yeah, and same to piggyback off of you, like my biggest gripe about it was like why they want the Makoto so badly.
Yeah.
What is his true purpose? Like what can he really do? Like obviously we know he's a con artist, but he's like, how really good is he, Because
I feel like the foreign dude is like way leagues better.
Because I also forgot to mention that everyone was in, and that the what was his name, Laurent?
Yeah.
He basically got everyone to con for the con man. Like the old lady, the old guy.
He sold him out pretty much.
Yeah, they got him all in it. So I'm waiting to see what more is to it. So I thought it was a good episode. I gave it a 7. Pretty good. And then obviously being on Netflix, that's being a plus. And then it's good.
That helps with the production and everything like that.
For me, I also give it a 7. I enjoyed how it is. The animation's awesome. The production is really well. The music itself is amazing.
Yep.
Me and Robbie got it wrong, where we thought the opening was gonna be the ending was gonna be open.
Yeah. So it's actually the ending.
Yeah, so
it has cats in it.
So the opening is more of a jazzy feel.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Cowboy Bebop in a way.
Yeah. That's a typical
and then
crime vibe.
Yeah, and then the ending is the Freddie Mercury song, pretty much. But yeah, just a 7.
Can't wait to see where this goes. Hopefully we'll be able to review. And the reason why we're doing this on a week by week basis, even though there's 3 episodes out, is because they're gonna be releasing the episodes in blocks.
Yeah.
So hopefully by the time we catch up to this one, the 4, 5, 6, and whatever is gonna be out by then. But we'll see where this goes. Honestly, great first impression for our ends.
Yeah. Very solid.
And to end things off, we're going to be just talking about this pretty briefly. So the Pokemon Company released their own Looney Tunes-esque short called it was a Poketoon.
Poketoon.
What was the short called again?
I think it was Poketoon.
It was just Poketoon. And it features Scraggy in a lot of Looney Tunes-esque hijinks. Like following a train and like eating beans and stuff.
Scraggy and
Mimikyu, yeah. And yeah, it was great.
I liked it because old school Looney Tunes, they got the music playing every move they do.
The animation and the facial expression were on point and stuff like that. Like I honestly thought that this was just a fan animation. I had no idea this was like official and everything.
It gave me that vibe of Cuphead.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what was inspired by it.
Yeah. The video itself was like 4 minutes long, so it was cool how it lasted.
Yep.
Yeah, it was very cool. When the whole plot of like Scrappy finding candy, and then it leads him to a wondrous adventure.
Yeah.
to a train, and you know, it was a very simple story.
I was kind of half expecting it to be kind of like JoJo Part 5, where like they're on the train and like they got the Grateful Dead turning everybody into old people and stuff. Mimikyu's like a ghost type Pokemon, so.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna go really dark, because you know how Mimikyu is a ghost type.
Yeah.
I thought it might eat him or something.
Yeah, but, you know, this is aimed for kids, man.
Yeah, but cartoons could go dark, man.
Yeah, I mean, he gets run over by a truck in this one. That happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I honestly, I want to see more of like that kind of stuff with Pokemon. That was great.
Yeah, it was really obscure.
Yeah.
To see.
If they would do another one, what Pokemons would you want to see then?
Gengar.
Gengar?
I feel like Gengar, any of the other ghost Pokemon in Gen 1.
Like Gengar,
perfect.
Like
you know what? I was picturing Team Rocket trying to get just Pikachu.
Yeah. Or Mr. Mime actually, because Mr. Mime I think would fit.
Yeah, it's
really
perfect.
well.
It has no dialogue.
Yeah.
But to piggyback off your Gengar, that would be cool. Be Gengar and Clefairy, since there's that theory.
All right, and now I guess this.
Pretty much it.
Pretty much it, yeah. I don't think I mentioned this in the intro, but like, don't forget to also join us on Discord. We have a Discord server, so we have links of our server below. Come join us, and then if you have any other critiques and stuff, you can be able to come join our social medias and stuff. Don't forget to like the video, comment the video, and subscribe if you want to see more stuff similar to this one.
And you guys can ask questions. You guys want to know about us about the specific anime, or like generic questions like what's our favorite.
Any feedback is good feedback.
Yeah.
That's our motto.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to wrap things off, this has been the Anime Squad podcast. My name is Robbie,
and this is Omar,
and this is David,
and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye guys.
Bye.